Hi there, what's up, what's good, what's going on, and what's down? Yes, I'm very hot, like it's just scorching out here in these streets. Moving on. So I was talking about the US and how they probably have a very skewed view of what's going on in the world because they are used to, indeed, that skewed view because they are a superpower that everybody listens to, that everybody has flooded to, that everybody has been influenced by, and so therefore they've just always had the upper hand. And when you're that big chunky dude on the school playground, you're going to be tempted to believe that whatever direction you take, everybody else must be going in it because all along that's been the case. But if only Americans opened their eyes, they would see that people are kind of going a different direction because their land has been made so crazy, the far left in the land has been made so crazy that everybody else in the world is like, I'm sorry, look, I understand peer pressure, but I'm not about to go out like that. How can I use the example of the United States in an analogy to help you understand what's going on there? When I was about 22, I had this cousin who was also my age, and both of us had these boyfriends. I was still starting my career and I wasn't married. For the life of me, I was not ready to be a mom. This cousin of mine, however, I had a history where everything she did, I did next because she was like my total role model. I was a parrot. I used to do everything that she did. She was basically my little boss when we were growing up. Do you understand? And now that I was a grown woman and I was trying to establish a career, any kind of semblance of a healthy life, right? I started to think very independently from that age, from her. Plus, she also had these irresponsibilities that she had worn that had caused me to sort of lose respect for her decision making, right? So because she was used to me following suit next after she did something, she went on right ahead and had a baby by this boyfriend of hers without having much stability in her life. Do you understand? In terms of work, everything was just not right, and she was going to find herself, if anything, I was better off than her because I had my own car at the time, even though I was still staying at home with my mom. She did not have any such thing, and her career was on shaky ground, or job, I can't even call it a career, what she was doing because she was in and out of jobs type establishment thing. And she ended up giving this guy a baby. She first had, the first pregnancy was miscarried, unfortunately, and I imagine that after miscarrying following the first pregnancy that she would like decide to start using protection or take the pill or something so she doesn't fall pregnant again. Instead, she and her boyfriend agreed to try again. And both of them were in dire straits. Both of them didn't have anything. They just were romanticizing or glamorizing the prospect of having a child. And so they had one anyway. And what I observed afterwards was her really struggling to make ends meet. Once this baby was born, their living conditions were horrific. They literally were in no position to have this child, and they had it nonetheless. This cousin of mine, when she fell pregnant, she expected me to just follow suit, but I didn't, and it puzzled her. Because I had a boyfriend that I was quite stable with, we were in love and all that jazz. But for me, it was like, I don't care how much I might love this guy, but he's not my husband, and I want to be married when I have a child. On top of that, I don't have enough career strength for me to imagine that this kid is not going to somehow wreak havoc in my life in that growth. I am still living at home with my mom. My boyfriend still lives at home with his parents. I'm in no position. So I stayed on the pill, kept on swallowing Diane 35, and I didn't fall pregnant. And I'm still, to this day, I don't have a child. I'm supposed to have one by now, but life happened, like witchcraft and all the such abuse, Christian persecution, Christian redemption in and of itself just threw me into another trajectory that God, I guess, had a different plan for me. And so I'm in it. However, I, for many years thereafter, still did not have a child because I still did not feel like it was the right time. Why? Because I was yet to be married. For me, the biggest thing was I had to be married for me to give my husband a child, because I'm not about to go and give a boyfriend a child. Next thing, I'm just a baby mama with baby mama drama. Yeah, so here it is that this cousin of mine that I absolutely idolized, and I pedestaled her, she was my role model, now was somebody that I looked at as, this time around, no, I'm not following you because I find the decision that you are making about your life irresponsible. Given 1, 2, 3 ABC. Do you understand? I looked at this cousin of mine as one who was making an irresponsible decision, albeit me having been initially a parrot of everything that she does. The world citizenship, in comparison or in tandem or in light of the United States of America, is like me at 22 when I was finally starting to wake up and realize that my cousin is a little irresponsible. And even though I might have idolized her and she might have been my role model once upon a time, she is making decisions that don't make sense currently. And so I'm just not going to follow suit. I'm not going to tell her what to do because she's what I imagine bigger than me, more clouty, more influential. She was like, the little popular girl. So I was like, okay, do you? Everybody likes you. And everybody seems to to kind of think everything you do is golden. But right now, I am growing up. I'm no longer a 17-year-old girl that is impressionable, that does everything that her popular cousin does. I am a 22-year-old woman that wants a career. So I can't follow suit and just the two of us have babies and surprise our parents each, and we're gonna like buy the kids matching growers. No, not this time. Not with my womb. I'm not going to go and donate my womb to a trend. So I refused, and it surprised her. Similarly too, the United States is used to being influential in the world on multiple fronts. They have exported so much culture everywhere, and people have just gladly eaten what they take. But they've gotten so crazy over the past decade that most countries across the world are like, not this time. They're like a 22-year-old version of me. And the US is puzzled. They're shocked. They're surprised. They're creasing their foreheads. Their liberal agenda that is embracing everything that goes, anything that goes, the tarnishing of the masculinity in their country, the woke agenda, essentially, is one agenda that is causing the world at large to be like, I might have tried to fashion my life after you all throughout my life. But this time around, it's you're making a stupid decision. This time around, you're destroying your country. This time around, I will pass. I'm not going to dedicate my womb to a trend. Nations in this world are refusing to dedicate literally their wombs, their proverbial wombs, their children, their citizenship on the ground to the trend that the United States is currently in, that is going to wreak havoc in their lives later on. People are waking up. That's what I'm trying to help you understand. The United States is Babylonic in that it has influenced the world very negatively, and so far so good, but not anymore. Enough for other countries to be like, I'm not so dumb so as to go and have a kid when I don't have my own apartment. I'm not married. I am yet to get anywhere in life. I'm still struggling to make ends meet. I can't even pay off my Edgar's account properly and on time every month. How in the world am I going to afford a baby? How in the world is a country going to afford to girl up, effeminize its military? How in the world does an entire country allow its boys to be raised in a very girly culture? And how does it take away femininity out of society? How does it chip away at the fabric of family on the ground? How in the world does it allow kids to do whatever they want, do what they want, for this is the whole of the law? How does it allow so much profanity, so much sensuality, such a sexual revolution? How in the world is a country just allowing so many ludicrous immoralities to run rampant on the ground and have other nations not be like, I'm sorry, at some point I gotta take stock, and while you were the popular girl last year, this time around you're the popular girl that I'm just not gonna follow. You are not a good influence on me, and so I am gonna do differently. So because the US is the popular kid that has stopped getting followed, the world at large cannot possibly be under judgment because the US is. That's what I'm trying to say. The rest of the world is not under judgment just because the United States is. And for those reasons, United States of America, Christians therein, you cannot for the life of you think that Jesus Christ must be coming to get the church in 2 days from today because your particular country is falling apart at the seams. It's not the same everywhere else. My country sucks, but like I said, South Africa is like the Uncle Tom of Africa. It's not like that everywhere else. It's not like that everywhere else. But I do still believe that the rapture is at the door, but I don't believe that our barometer to gauge just how close that door closing is. I don't believe that that barometer is the United States of America. I believe that barometer is the world at large. And so unless you collate data very, what is the word that I'm looking for? Liberally and fairly in a balanced equilibrium across the whole planet, and so therefore make an informed decision about what's going on. Unless you're doing that, your sample is biased, it is skewed, and so therefore unrepresentative of the whole world, and so therefore irresponsible for the rest of us to embrace rather as a viable, informative portion of a decision-making process. Next part.